Once again, it's on. Live on and popping, baby. This is how it looks at 11:23 a.m. in the Rod Squad lab, baby. Let's see if I could straighten that out real quick so you can see what I'm doing. You want to see what charges the kids up? Bang, that does it, right? 40. There's another down right here. Knees are banged up. Gotta get it done. At this particular level, I'm taking it to number 5 is alive. Remember where we at? We got 13 on board. Shout me out. If it's on and popping wherever you're staying. What's crack-a-lacking? This feeling is what ultimately keeps you broke as a joke with nothing but hope. But with God's lightning bolt that will never, ever, ever, ever let you choke. Got the dime on here. Let me unstraddle it. Resentment. When you have resentment towards certain people, it does not let you move forward. You have to learn how to forgive everything and anything that you thought could assault you. God made you in his image and allowed you to trample over any problem that you encounter on this planet. Everything. You have full dominion over the serpents, the lions, everything that purports to be physically stronger than you, but is nothing in comparison to the human spirit right here. Why does it keep you broke? Because it keeps you thinking about these limited thoughts. And there is a saying, I'm not sure who coined it, but if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. Keep that in mind. Anything for which you argue, anything that you theorize will become of you, you're typically right, whether you can or you can't. So why not say that you can? Make can't a profane word in your vocabulary. And the only way that you can't is if you occupy your mind with thoughts that don't contribute towards you serving your neighbor, which is the second most important commandment in the scripture. And of course, it's the wisdom that has guided me to help me do what I have become in a productive manner, to serve the people that the true and living God has assigned to me. Now, for the 8 people that are on board right now, I need to speak to you because I know that one thing that stops many of us is procrastination. We lollygag on the activities that we have to perform in order to get things done. We typically know what we have to do. You see a pile of dirty dishes in your sink, and you know you got to do it. You just don't want to do it. But if you remove everything that distracts you from performing that act, then you'll get it done. If it's something where you have to build a profile on YouTube or Instagram to start building a community, start discussing exactly what it is that you aim to contribute to this planet to ensure it's a better place for all of us, how are you going to serve your neighbor, thus serve God? And you just got to get it done. You have to eliminate all distractions. But the only way you can do that is by first forgiving everyone, because if you don't forgive, what happens is that negative thoughts always pervade your mind. Oh, because this dude didn't give me this. I don't have this because I was not brought up in the ideal circumstances. Guess what? No one on this planet is growing or has been born with ideal circumstances. There is no perfection on this planet, and everyone has to encounter this perfection and take a look at the puzzle that's before them with an infinite amount of pieces. I've been working on puzzles. I got a 1,500 piece puzzle with a masterpiece drawing of various forms of Spider-Man. I'll go ahead and show you shortly if you like. And it feels as if it's going to take me forever to do it. I'm not giving in nonetheless. I aim to challenge me, aim to challenge my family to ensure we get it done. We got a United States flag performed, but You will only be able to resolve that problem that I classify as life by ensuring that you first forgive and actually thank the people that have aimed to hurt you or hurt your person or hurt your path. Understand? Now, when you forgive someone, you verbally and in your heart, you forgive them. Nonetheless, there is no need. In 1 Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken, it reads, if your brother is up to no good, don't sit with your brother up to idolatry, drunkardness, or anything that is not correct, that does not abide by the civilized rule of law in the scripture, and what also is deemed to typically be amongst the crowd of wisdom as common sense. In other words, just don't do anything to harm others. Then you are just as guilty as that person, as that sibling. So don't sit with that person. So it does not require you to be able to rub elbows with people that have tried to attack your person or try to attack your path or plan of helping people. You simply forgive them in your heart. Don't let that hurt you, and thank them. Always show appreciation to those people who have said, listen, get out of my house. Listen, or I have not been there. I'm not going to be there because I prefer to party with women or with men or with people that do not constitute my assignment. I'm going to engage in debauchery and not care for my children. I'm going to do all these things that don't contribute towards the enhancement of the rest of the people's lives on this planet. The contribution towards humanity that ensures that we can all provide for each other. If you're rolling with those people, you're just as guilty because you are supporting sin. The Bible reads, if your eye makes you sin, gouge it out. If your arm makes you sin, chop it off. So you have to flee from temptation, run from it. So if the people with whom you are rolling is tempting you to sin, in other words, not contributing towards it, it constitutes all kinds of sin because it's not allowing you to move forward, to be productive, to multiply, to be fructiferous on this planet, to be able to take whatever resource that God has given you and make it produce and make it exponentially rise time and time again. You're like yeast, you have to make it rise. If it's not allowing you to make whatever it is that you have before you, the tools that you can put together to create a better life for yourself, for your loved ones, for everyone that you are assigned to serve, then it's what's stopping you. And when you seek and delve deep into your heart, into your soul, you start blaming other people. Never do that. Don't be a person that's always making him or herself a victim. It is not going bad for you. If someone kicked you out of their house, it did not go bad for you. Someone I'm going to keep unnamed kicked me out of their house one time that was supposed to be a close loved one, and another apartment was open for me for the taking at a very cost-effective price, and I ran up in there. You are blessed. The word reads that when people, they lie about you or talk badly about you, you are multiplied with blessings. You are blessed, and that's exactly how I have lived it. So instead of resenting people that you think have harmed you, just think of the benefit that resulted because of that act that they thought would hurt you. It's not going to hurt you. It did not hurt you. If you are right here watching me right now, it made you exactly who you are, with the ability to watch me on this phone, to perceive me. Understand, it has made you who you are. I came from one of the poorest neighborhoods in New York City. It's hard for me to say the roughest because as bad as Jamaica, Queens, New York was, people were still getting shot up. And I mean, my neighborhood was like illicit drug pharmacy / supermarket. I had a weed spot on Jamaica Avenue. I had another weed spot by the Tellys, back by Van Dolen Park. There was people getting shot and stuck up for selling drugs because other people wanted to come by from other neighborhoods, and all kinds of madness. I saw even worse things go down in the BX. I was rolling with one cat who used to run up on drug dealers and start blasting a Uzi in the air and say, yo, give me loot, have everybody empty their call. I'm declining that. Anyway, regardless of what, encountering situations where I'm growing up with thieves, assassins, stick-up kids, right? And I thank every single circumstance that I encountered because I got through it. Now, I speak the truth on it, and people may think that sometimes, oh, he's always victimized. I'm not victimizing myself. I'm just telling you because if I swam with sharks at one time, I try to avoid having the people that I love or the people that I serve from encountering those same type of situations because they may not be as fortunate. I saw this kid get chopped up in the Bronx. This dude he didn't want to be, he wanted to be a police officer. He was already an auxiliary police officer in the programs, like 16-year-old kid. Probably did not have as much street time that I experienced in my lifetime, and they caught him up. I mean, I was in situations like that all the time. They dragged him out of a bodega, chopped him up with a machete, right? Those are the types of situations that made me. But if, for instance, I'm not going to predict the future. I'm not God nonetheless, but I know other kids that have not encountered the streets at such an intimate level as I have encountered it. So I explained to them the types of situations in which I was involved. It's the truth. And that will help them avoid that type of situation. I keep my kids away from that stuff. At one time in front of PS 82 where my uncle lives, this guy was about to shoot me because I said hi to his girl. When I was like 16, I want to keep my kids at a distance from that. I work day in and day out. I'm on here day in and day out trying to serve you, to keep my children, keep my loved ones. And I tell you, keep away from it because it's like you're paying the mob in the United States. I love my country. There is not another country that is as great as this one right here. Nonetheless, when you hit the hood and the places from where I originate, and many of you originate based off my conversations with you, the mob is not doing such a good job. So if I'm paying the mob anywhere through taxes, I'm in partnership with the government, with the business that I structure. It's very easy for you to start a business here in the United States. Nonetheless, you got to come out once you start generating revenue, there are all kinds of ways for you to deduct business expenses, and you could involve your family and all kinds of ways. As a matter of fact, I'm even certified in doing that. Probably drop a couple of courses on that. Let me know if you'd like to hear more about that in the comments section below. But at the end of the day, you're in partnership with the government because you're always paying taxes. If you move to a place like Dubai, they make you pay $5,000 up front, more like a flat tax, and you don't pay taxes based off what I've heard and read. So you're in partnership with this mob. You're basically paying them for protection, for infrastructure. They're not doing a good job in the hood. You might as well come out your pockets and be in a place where they do a better job. Where I live, you don't see any pipe heads on the corner. You don't see people smoking. I saw a couple of blunt heads in the park, but a bunch of kids, honestly, they appear to be harmless to me. Nothing in comparison to the violent folks with whom I grew up. But for the most part, it's a very safe place. It looks like Leave It to Beaver. It looks like Disney without the mouse. Understand what I'm saying? Where I'm living. And I come out of my pockets. It's not cheap. However, regardless of what, well into the 5 figures in terms of the expenses, but I keep my family safe, which is why I hold these webinars, which is why I hold these discussions and ensure, because it all starts with the resentment right here. Understand? It all goes down to that resentment. If you keep that in your heart, you won't move forward because you always think about this stuff and dwell on it. And it's just always like, oh, because of this. And then when you have a conversation, that's what the conversation constitutes. This person tried to do this to me and did this to me and damaged me. No one has damaged you. Do not give anyone that power where you can say, they damaged me. They did this thing to hurt me. No one can hurt you. God gave you ultimate dominion over this planet, over this universe. It is beneath you, everything that you encounter. That's why man has the ability to fly into space, trample over it, be fructiferous, subdue this earth, and you can conquer the universe. It is your tool. The Supreme Being has bestowed that power onto you. Use it. Don't let the resentment stop you. Don't let any ill feelings that you have towards it. You're not a victim. You are not a victim. No one can victimize you. Do not give anybody that power, because upon you saying, this damaged me, this did this messed me up, this person did this, you're giving them power. Why are you going to empower someone to control your life, to control your mind, to control your feelings, when it is so short? Just go out and dominate, okay? That's what stops you. It's distractions that stops you. It keeps you procrastinating and lollygagging on the activities that you need to perform day in and day out in order to thrive on this planet, in order to use the resources the true and living God has given to you. So do not let any form of negativity that, no, I'm going through it. You're not going through it. That's simply God working on you, ensuring that you have to become the person that you must be to fulfill your assignment.